Ramadi in the late summer of 2006 was a city in its death throes. Unlike Fallujah, this battle was drawn out, a slow-motion car wreck that consumed Ramadi in a way not seen in military history since the Battle of Stalingrad in 1942-1943. While the U.S. forces showed restraint and only used such firepower as aerial bombs, rockets, or the main gun on an M1 Abrams tank as an absolute last resort, the insurgents were under no such limitations. Enemy car bomb factories hidden in warehouses in or around the city churned out dump trucks filled with thousands of pounds of ammonium nitrate. Foreign volunteers, whom al-Qaeda cell leaders leg-cuffed in place should they have any second thoughts about martyrdom, drove the trucks into Iraqi police checkpoints or coalition combat outposts. The massive blasts from these deadly weapons took down buildings and left the streets heaped with burned debris and human remains. Through some freak of physics, the drivers were usually blown straight up into the air. Their bodies would come apart, but the head was almost always found intact. During the cleanup after these attacks, it fell to American and Iraqi troops to locate the driver's head, photograph it, and conduct a retinal scan to identify the terrorist if his eyes remained in their sockets. Each bomb factory had specific tells picked up by U.S. military forensics experts. Some set up fail-safes, or chicken switches, so that if the driver tried to opt out at the last minute, the vehicle could be detonated remotely by observers watching from a safe distance. Others tore down vehicles to their bare frames, welded modifications and explosives in place, then rebuilt the rig so it looked like any other on the streets. Some of these were so cunningly constructed that even a detailed search by Iraqi security forces missed the threat concealed within them. Al-Qaeda's factories grew so sophisticated that they were able to produce tractor-trailer rigs loaded with 6,000 to 8,000 pounds of explosives. Such infernal devices took down entire city blocks when they went off. Sometimes the bomb makers improvised even deadlier ways to attack the coalition. On August 21, 2006, al-Qaeda operatives drove a dump truck filled with fuel up to a coalition outpost on the edge of town and successfully detonated it. The blast drenched the base in flaming fuel, killing 3 Iraqi police officers and horribly burning 8 American soldiers. The truck and car bomb menace grew so severe that summer that 3 or 4 bombs a week were blowing up in and around the city. Finding the factories became a key priority, as these attacks almost always inflicted military and civilian casualties. But finding them required venturing into the heart of the city, where al-Qaeda's legions had seeded the streets and alleys with thousands of IEDs. In some places, so many had been emplaced that they resembled urban minefields, and some of the bombs were so powerful they could, and did, destroy M1 Abrams tanks and M2 Bradley fighting vehicles. When the troops tried to move off the streets and into businesses and homes, they faced another threat: building-contained IEDs. Al-Qaeda would wire a dwelling with propane tanks, explosives, or artillery rounds left over from the Saddam era. Once a door was opened and a wire or infrared beam was broken, the entire building would explode and come down around the patrol. Dozens of these BCIEDs detonated around the city that summer, leaving entire blocks in ruins. Piles of concrete and rebar heaped on either side of garbage-strewn roads littered with the burned-out carcasses of cars and tireless bullet-riddled trucks became the indelible image of Ramadi for countless American soldiers who struggled to defeat al-Qaeda. Water mains were ruptured by IEDs and flooded the streets. Sewage lines, never Iraq's strong point, clogged up or broke and added a foul stench to the ruins. Severed power lines hung limply across sidewalks, festooned trees and walls, and lay in tangles in the streets. Animals caught in crossfires lay rotting in the rubble, as nobody was willing to risk removing them since al-Qaeda had been known to plant bombs around or inside their corpses. On one wall deep in the city, the enemy had spray-painted in Arabic, "This is the graveyard of Americans." It was